Hey, everybody. Welcome back to SFC Defined. And this month we are talking about balance. Glad to see y'all today. It's a beautiful, beautiful fall day today. The weather couldn't be more perfect. So I hope you are out there enjoying the day. I want to start out giving you a couple of reminders. Don't forget, you'll see going across the screen just to save the date, Holiday Vendor Fair. As of right now, we have approximately 15 vendors from soaps to fragrances to healthcare, beauty care, insurance. We've got jewelry, we've got food trucks, we've got all kinds of stuff that's happening right on the campus of Guilford College on December the 2nd. It is going to be an epic event. You can come there and do a lot of your shopping for the holiday. And that's why it's called a holiday vendor fair, because I want to make sure that I have all of the many different types of artisans that are around in our area, showcasing them and giving them an opportunity to have their product out so that it can be purchased for holiday gifts. I think that we need to celebrate and support our small businesses, and especially the minority-owned businesses. So come out and make it a day. We'll be there from 12 to 6, and within the next few weeks, we will have more detailed information of the exact location, the building we'll be in, and we'll finalize and let you know exactly what kind of vendors you can expect there. I'm super excited about it, and I know that it's going to be something major that you and your whole family can come out and participate in and have fun. The word is spreading, and I'm excited about it, really excited about it, looking forward to it. So this month we have been talking about finding balance and the importance of it. I guess sometimes when I do things, I feel like I get things out of order, the natural order to help things be understood. And so this is one of those things where I feel like I need to backtrack a little bit. We've talked about finding balance, what that looks like, and what a balanced life sort of looks like. So today, just backtracking, and I should have done this a week or so ago, I want to talk about what it looks like when you're out of balance. And I know we touched on that some over the last couple of weeks, but I want to go into more detail because sometimes you don't know until you know. And it takes somebody tapping you on your shoulder and saying, hey, you're not acting like yourself. You're not doing what you usually do. You're not that even keeled. You're not that, low key kind of person. You seem a little wound up. So I think that once we, as we talked about over the last couple of weeks, once we get to a place where we can identify when we're out of balance, it becomes easier and easier to get back into balance. And I really believe that once you have created that balance in your life, that you won't go, you will cherish the feeling that comes along with finding balance. I have to admit, the last few weeks have been like so hectic for me. A lot has gone on, a lot has happened personally for me, and I noticed that it has thrown me off balance some. I can tell that I'm a little less tolerable, I'm a little less patient with certain things, and I really find myself spending more time in the mornings meditating. Usually I got to the place where I could do it 10 or 15 minutes. I was good, but I've had to really hunker down and spend some time trying to settle my mind, because in my chaos, in my crisis mode, my mind tends to wander, and it tends to always come up with the worst case scenario. It doesn't let me sleep well. So I've had to really methodically and intentionally be mindful of my thoughts and mindful of maintaining that balance in my life. So today, I want to talk about what it looks like literally. There are about 4 things that I want to bring out that happens when you're out of balance. number one, you're stressed, and it is evident, and we do things. It's not stress is not something that's just mental. When you're stressed, it affects you mentally and physically. They say that stress is the number one killer. It'll kill you quicker than a bullet when you're super stressed. And that's one of the things that I try so hard not to ever be is stressed. But as I do, life happens, and when life happens, you go with life, and sometimes life can stress you out. But I think when we stay in that fight or flight mode, we tend to do ourselves a disservice, because then our eating habits change, our sleeping habits change, the way we interact with people change, and all of that is a derivative of being stressed. And I think that that's the number one thing that needs to be addressed, is that when you're out of balance, stress is evident in your life. You're not able to focus. You're not able to be quite as pristine and as you normally are in your day-to-day dealings. And I'm sure people notice that when you're stress. So stress is the number one thing. The other thing that I have down is that whenever you are out of balance, not only is it stressful and how stress affects you both mentally and physical, but when you're out of balance, you have poor mental health. And what I mean by that is every day we are inundated with choices and decisions that we have to make. Every day, it goes without saying. Every day, as soon as your eyes come open, you're going to have to start making decisions and making choices. And I mean, as soon as your eyes come open, because the first choice that you have to make is whether or not you're going to get out of bed, whether or not you're going to roll over and throw the covers back over your head and sleep, or press the snooze button. So as soon as you wake up every day, your life begins with making choices or decisions, one right after the other, until you close your eyes again at night. And so when there is poor mental health, you tend to make poor choices and decisions. And all of this comes as with being out of balance. Okay, so feel free, guys, chime in. Fanny and Catherine, hey, if you guys have a comment or a question or a thought, please feel free to chime in. I'm just going to go down through this list, because I guess it has become real to me more in a way like never before over the last few weeks, with some of the things that I've had to deal with. It has become more real that it's so important. Like this talk or this segment that we're doing couldn't have happened or come at a better time. And I think everything happens for a reason and for that particular season. And just being able to talk about balance and the importance of it has helped me get through some of the things that I've had to deal with. So the number one thing was stress, and then there's poor mental health. And again, right after the poor mental health comes the poor physical health. When you're out of balance, you tend to not want to exercise. You have zero energy. Um, your eating habits are horrible. You eat more junk food. You tend to become a couch potato when you're out of balance. And all of that comes again as stress, mental health, and then physical health. Okay, all of these things are affected when you are not living life balanced. I think it's so important for you to understand that life is meant to be lived balanced, and finding that balance through meditation, through exercise, through reading, through prayer, or whatever you need to do. I think that it is so important, and it will literally benefit you in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Thanks for bringing the attention to this subject matter. I am still learning how to create balance in my life, or work on balance in my life. Yeah, it's not a destination. It's a journey, and every day you have to work on creating and finding balance, because everyday life happens, and as life happens, things are thrown off balance at the drop of a dime. Literally at the drop of, you could start the morning or the day off super wonderful, very much like the day before was, and within an hour things can go awry and you're thrown out of balance. But then it's not about being thrown out of balance. balance. It's about how quickly can you get back in balance. Because on your worst day, you still have to create some balance. You have to create some balance. So just in recapping, you got stress, which is not just a mental thing, but it affects you physically. So stress, you're mentally, you're not there. You're making poor decisions and you're making poor choices. Physical, you don't have the energy or the wherewithal, the stamina, the drive, the unction to get up and do the things that you normally do. And all of this comes when you're out of balance. And the last thing is that when you're out of balance, you pick up on bad habits easily. Bad habits. And again, that goes without saying. You compensate with drinking, overeating, smoking, drugs, all kinds of stuff, being around the wrong people. You pick up on bad habits when your life is out of balance. It's, I mean, that's really much self-explanatory in the grand scheme of things, because when you are not in balance, you sort of kind of look for things to help you feel good about yourself. And when you're not in balance, you find the wrong things to help you feel good about yourself. So creating that balance in your life is key to making sure that you make good choices and you're not picking up or clinging to some bad habits. And the very, very last thing is this, that you're constantly tired. One of the things that I noticed that when the stuff that I've been dealing with over the past few weeks, like I'm a light sleeper most of the time, and a good 5 hours for me is good. I'm good. That's a good night's sleep if I can get 5 hours. But over the last couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I noticed that I'm super tired. So I'm going to bed at like 9 o'clock. I'm sleeping all the way through the night and I'm waking up and I'm still tired. And I have to force myself to get up and work out. I have to force myself to walk. I have to force myself. So I know that I have not been completely 100% imbalanced in balance over the last couple of weeks. And it's okay, because one of the things is, like I told you before, when you recognize that you are out of balance, it's easier to get back into balance. It's easier for you to find those things that are stressing you and see the positive in that, see why things are happening the way they are right now. Mentally, I have been very conscientious about the decisions and choices that I've made over the last couple of weeks. I mean, even down to the most minor things. I know that when I am stressed or when I feel like I'm off balance, for me, that's not a good time to make any kind of major decision. So I've been really methodical in my decision making over the last few weeks to make sure that I ain't doing something that I have to come back and deal with the negative consequence later on. Physical, I have literally, even pushing past me not wanting to work out, feeling so tired that I just did not want to work out. I have literally pushed past that, even if it is only to get a few sets and a few reps. I just make myself do it, because that's the only way that I'll be able to get back in balance. Okay. As far as bad habits are concerned, I've done a lot more with sweets. I'm not a really, really big sweets eater, but over the last couple of weeks, I have felt myself hankering for sugary stuff like cakes and pies and all of this other stuff. And so I know that I am off balance, but I really have to make myself find that balance that I've always known. Because being out of balance, it's not good. It's not good emotionally for me. It's not good emotionally for you. Spiritually, it's not good. You know, things that I would usually look as something easy I could just do like that, I've really had to think and rethink. You know, one of the other things too, I think I've become, like, during this imbalanced period, I have become a little bit more sensitive, a little hypersensitive, in fact, to certain things. You know, there are just certain things that I can't even, like, I can't even tolerate. It's like I don't. It's just like, so I've really had to understand where I am. I know that I'm not as balanced as I could be. I know that I am not as balanced as I am typically, but recognizing that and knowing that has helped me not go so far to the left that it would take me a long time to get back. I know what I need to do to create that balance. I know what I need to do to maintain that balance. And that's all I'm saying to you. Be able to identify some of the triggers that will let you know. These are identifiers, markers that will let you know that you are slightly out of balance. If you're stressed, again, stress has everything to do with both mental and physical. So make sure that you recognize if you're stressed, even if it's in the slightest way, if you're a little anxious about a doctor's appointment, or if somebody did something on the highway, it creates a stressor in you. So be able to look at that. Me too, just craving sweets for no reason. And I just took I just took an apple cobbler. I know I got a whole thing of brownies I'm getting ready to make, but I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try my best, yes, to not overdo it, because I recognize that it's not what I'm used to. It says stress is it, and I know stress makes me, yeah, it is. And when you know that, Sharon, you have to be able to get ahead of it so that it won't get ahead of you. That's the key. You have to get ahead of it, and being able to identify when you're out of balance for whatever reason, like it be family stress, work stress, physical stress, whatever. Understand that everything comes as a result of that. You've got the bad habit making, you've got poor choices and decisions, you got the lack of energy, tiredness all the time. It just literally has a domino effect. And creating that balance and maintaining, my hands don't look even, I'm trying to show you balance, but creating that balance and maintaining that balance is key to being happy in life. And I know that I've learned that balance is what keeps you stress free. Balance is what keeps you happy. Balance is what keeps you in a positive mindset and a positive state. And when I am out of balance, it takes everything in me to be joyous, to be happy, to be celebratory, to be grateful, all of this stuff. So I know that I have to create balance. And now that I have found out what it being out of balance looks like to me, I'm on it. I'm on it. I know that I'm out of balance. I know that I'm out of balance. Monday, a good day. I'm in balance on Monday. Tuesday, not so good. So I got to know what happened on Tuesday that threw me out of balance. And once I identify that, where am I out of balance at? Am I out of balance? Is it stress? Is it dealing with me mentally? Is it dealing with me physically? All of this stuff. And once I identify that, I'm able to bring myself back down, and I'm not as stressed. I'm not trying to tear the cabinet doors off looking for something to eat. I'm not grumpy or grouchy. Cam told me the other day, you're a meanie. And, I get it. I probably was that day. But at the same time, I know why. And I try to maintain that balance. And, realistically speaking, as soon as he left the room, I took a few deep breaths. I tried to find that balance again, because he is the last person that I want to take it out on. So I encourage you, find that balance in life. Don't be so stressed out that you miss the beauty of life and all that is around you. When you're out of balance, I believe that your vision is so blurred that you don't get to see the beauty that surrounds you every day. So make sure you create that balance in your life. Make sure that you find it and hold on to it. And if by chance, which is more likely than not, that you lose balance on certain days, know what it is and know how to get it back. Don't stay there. It's okay to be out of balance for a little bit. That's called life, and it's going to happen. But what I don't ever want you to do is to stay out of balance. Find that balance and stay in balance. Benny says, good stuff. Appreciated recognition of the imbalance has certainly been key for me. This is why I try to be mindful of how I'm feeling throughout the day. Absolutely. You have to do a self-check every single day, and I encourage you to do so. All right, let's keep balance going. Balance is good. Balance is what keeps you stress-free. Balance is what helps you make right decisions and choices. It keeps you from creating and holding on to bad habits. It's amazing. So do that for me this week. Be intentional about being balanced, all right? Be intentional about being balanced. And I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today. We'll try to see each other again next week. Remember, this week, it's all about balance. Have a good one.